And now the good news. Here it is, Friday afternoon or evening, depending where you're located. And we are bringing you good news, a nice change from what we normally get on our local channels. I'm Barbara Jean, and I am thrilled to be here with you this week, sharing with you some incredible stories here on the New Thought Media Network. And we get a lot of these stories from the Good News Network. I know, how cool is that? So, our first story comes from Lake Michigan. So, a man gets stuck in the lake in quicksand and comes out with a new girlfriend. Not sure how that works, but let's see. Everyone in a relationship will know how love often works in mysterious ways, but quicksand isn't typically involved. No, but never. Also, no. Just ask Mitchell O'Brien and Brianne Sika, a new couple for whom falling in love first meant falling in quicksand. O'Brien, 37, and Sika, 36, were both single and interested in the other, but under impressions, the feeling wasn't reciprocal. This carried on until a mutual friend asked them why they didn't go out on a date together. Deciding to visit Vans Beach, located in Leelanau County, north of Traverse City, the prospective couple were hoping to find Leland Blue stones, a bizarre and seemingly natural beach treasure and relic of Michigan's industrial past, made up of blue glass and various chemicals. At one point, Bree points to a spot on the beach, which was right next to the water, and she goes, "That looks really dangerous." I didn't realize she was referring to a singular spot. I thought she meant the whole area. I ended up turning around and walking straight to that spot to see if there were any stones in the water. Sinking immediately up to his waist, it was the second time O'Brien had been caught in quicksand in his life. I have never been caught in quicksand. I don't know if it's that common, but I haven't done it. He was fortunately able to remain calm enough to think of a plan. After trying to dig the sand out from under his waist, only for it to be replenished with very cold water that splashed onto his back, Sika tried to help pull the man out. This also failed, and the two were left trying to call 911 with their spotty cell service. That happens. At one point, Detroit News reports that the operator thought they were telemarketers and hung up on them, but eventually they received connection enough to explain the situation. At the end of me telling them what's going on and where we are, I said, "I think my girlfriend is calling as well," O'Brien said. She's like 20 feet away, and she was saying, "My boyfriend is here stuck in the sand." It was the first time we'd called each other that. With rope, pushing, digging, and pulling, three rescuers eventually got O'Brien free from the soup that appeared to be a mixture of sand and jello. Don't eat that. Quicksand or quick mud occurs in sandy or muddy areas where the understory, whether of rock, seabed, leaf litter, or something else, has eroded away, usually due to water running beneath it. The hole creates a vacuum that quickly fills with material, and any disturbance, for example, from a footfall, creates further vacuums that suck the material into the disturbing object down under. Well, this is why the number one rule if stuck in mud or quicksand is not to fight it or try to struggle free, since every jerking movement will pull you down further and faster. Oh dear. Well, you never know where Cupid's going to find you, but they sure found this couple in the oddest place. I couldn't resist that story. All right, here's a really good news story. Chicago bicycle refurbishers pedal good to the world for 26 years with 150,000 bikes saved from landfills. How cool is this? For 25 years, a local nonprofit has been refurbishing bikes for resale or donation to communities in need in Chicago and the world. Over the years, its horizons have continued to expand beyond the Windy City and out to the farthest corners of the world. Working Bikes, located in Chicago's Little Village neighborhood, has seen an awful lot of bikes pass through its doors, pulling them from landfills, picking them up off the curbside, or accepting them from community members over 150,000 have been repaired since the registered 501c3 got its wheels turning in 1999. 12% of all the bikes they restored are sold in the Working Bikes storefront. 15%, meanwhile, are donated right back to the people of Chicago through local program partners that will ensure they arrive in the hands of people in need of transportation. The whole operation is volunteer supported. Anyone can come in and fix a bike or learn how. A few dedicated employees ensured that saleable models are in excellent condition and boast unique designs and features. How cool is that? What a brilliant idea. I'll tell you, the more we can reuse and refurbish and get back out there, the better off we'll be. Well, that's a great story. Now we're going to take a short little break so we can hear from our sponsors or whoever is lined up there. Be sure to stick around because we're going to be back in just a minute with more good news here on the New Thought Media Network.
On behalf of everyone at New Thought Media Network, thank you for being a member of our virtual family. Your financial contributions help share the New Thought message with people from around the world. Please visit and contribute at www.ntmedia.org/donate. New Thought Media Network, come be you. And please,
And we're back with more good news. Well, this story is a really remarkable one. I love these ones that are good for the environment. It always makes me feel good. So this man revives the iconic Indian lake by converting lakeweed infestation into organic fertilizer business. How smart is that? It's amazing how we can reuse, repurpose, and end up with some great thing. So from northern India comes the story of an entrepreneur's efforts to clean up a historically beautiful lakefront by turning an infestation of weeds into rich natural fertilizer. Being something along the lines of the Lake Como of India, Dal Lake in the nation's northern city of Srinagar is surrounded by palaces, temples, fog-cloaked forested hills, and is iconic in the country for its houseboat culture. Yes, for all its natural and historic beauty, Dal Lake was sick. It was sick with lake weeds. These aquatic plants had accumulated near Dal Lake over the years, creating an unsightly mess and posing a threat to the local ecosystem. Singh is the founder of Clean Effin Tech, a local government partner company that harvests thousands of tons of those lake weeds every year, dries and enriches them, and then grinds them into fertilizer to sell to local farmers. Maninder was first inspired to find a solution for clearing the lakeweed when visiting Indian-administered Kashmir for his first wedding anniversary. Having already launched an IT startup in his native area, Singh would eventually change his focus to creating a social enterprise to tackle the challenges of our ages. I love that. The sight of the lakeweed marring Dull Lake's beauty immediately came into his head, and he began an 8-year process to construct a value chain that would see the lake, the local ecology, the global ecology, the local economy, and his own economy all flourish together. I like that a lot, where we work together to create something that actually works well for everybody. He goes on to say our project is designed to process up to 70,000 metric tons of lakeweed each year, which yields between 20 and 22,000 tons of organic manure. This large-scale effort is expected to lead an annual reduction of around 50,000 tons of CO2 emissions. Wow, that's good. We've had an impact by enriching over 4,400 acres of land, improving soil health, and supporting sustainable agricultural practices. Yay, yay, yay. Way to go, Sing. I'll tell you, these ideas that people come up with, I have no idea how they do it, but I'm really, really glad they do. So now this story is interesting. There's a new color that the eye can see. Wow. Scientists define a color never before seen by human eyes called olo. It is a blue-green of intense saturation. An experiment in human photoreceptors allowed scientists to recently define a new color imperceptible by the human eye that lies along the blue-green spectrum, but is different from the two. The team who experimented on themselves and others hope their findings could one day help improve tools for studying color blindness or lead to new technologies for creating colors in digital imagery. Theoretically, novel colors are possible through bypassing the constraints set by the cone spectral sensitivities. In practice, we confirm a spatial expansion of color space toward the theoretical ideal. The team from the University of California, Berkeley, and the University of Washington used pioneering laser technology, which they called Oz, to directly control the human eye's photoreceptor activity via cell-by-cell light delivery. That's interesting. Color is generated in our vision through the transmission of light in cells called photoreceptors. Eye tissue contain a series of cones for this task, and the cones are labeled as L, S, or M cones. In normal color vision, the authors explain, any light that stimulates an M cone cell must also stimulate its neighboring L and or S cones because the M cone spectral response function lies between that of the L and S cones. However, Oz stimulation can, by definition, target light to only M cones and not L or S, which in principle would send a color signal to the brain that never occurs in natural vision. Described as kind of a blue-green with unprecedented saturation, the new color, which the researchers named Olo, was confirmed as being beyond the normal blue-green spectrum by each participant who saw it, as they needed to add substantial amounts of white for Olo to fit somewhere within that spectrum. The Oz system represents a new experimental platform in vision science, aiming to control photoreceptor activation with great precision. Wow, a new color. Huh, who knew? Interesting. There's so many interesting things in science. I'm always a little bit kind of blown away by some of the things that happen. So here's a remarkable study. Some young kids, I'll tell you, teenagers, some of them are just frankly, brilliant. So these tween teens, my apologies. These teens win the 2025 Earth Prize for refrigeration that runs on salt. Yes, 200 are headed to hospitals to preserve medicine. From India comes the story of 3 teen inventors who were looking to improve rural healthcare by creating a portable fridge that needed no electricity or coolant fluids. The result of their inspiration is a small salt-cooled fridge that needs neither a power outlet nor a battery, but rather cools down passively as the salts dissolve in water. Calling it a fridge to bridge the world, the ThermaVault can use different combinations of salts to keep the contents at temperatures just above freezing or below it. Some vaccines require regular kitchen. What is with my tongue on this one? Ah, regular kitchen fridge temperatures, while others, or even transplant organs, need to be kept below freezing, meaning this versatility is a big advantage for the product's overall market demand. The 3 children of physicians, interesting, or medical field workers in the state of Indore, seeing how difficult it was to keep COVID-19 vaccines viable en route to countryside villages, hours outside city centers in tropical heat, they wanted to create a better portable solution to keeping medical supplies cool. These kids are brilliant. I think we have to give more credit to our teenagers than maybe what we have in the past. So let's start looking to them for some of the solutions we need in our world. All right, well, here's a fun one. Man, I can just get right on board with this lady. 83-year-old race car superfan finally gets her chance behind the wheel, outliving prejudice. How cool is that? Some of her best childhood memories are filled with revving engines, spinning tires, and cheering crowds while her brother drag raced. But in those days, there were no driving opportunities for women. Yet she vividly remembers the rush of adrenaline she felt while watching her brother racing cars. The one day she did have a chance to race in a powder puff derby, nice name, especially for females, the event was rained out and she never got the opportunity again until now. At age 83, Bobby Oxford's wish has finally come true. I have the need for speed, baby, she said from her senior living community in Littleton, Colorado, where she stays busy with sewing, quilting, and painting, leading a quiet life. The devoted fan of NASCAR racing got to check off her bucket list item thanks to Wish of a Lifetime, a charity arm of AARP that grants life-changing wishes to inspire people to age with joy. Oh, I like that. Her dream was fulfilled at the Pikes Peak International Raceway in Colorado in a retired race car belonging to Joe Garone, the track's COO. Bobby took to the track under a clear blue Colorado sky. Not a drop of rain would cut her experience short this time. When asked by CBS Sunday Morning how fast she wanted to go, she replied, "As fast as I can, maybe 130. I love that. I love that. After being fitted with a helmet and personalized racing suit, getting a tour of the garage, and completing an orientation, Bobby got behind the wheel with an experienced driver in the passenger seat, and she drove around the 1-mile oval track over and over. Just the sound of this motor and being behind this wheel, you step on the gas and hear a roar, I tell you. Oh my goodness, she had the time of her life. And hey, I'll tell you, there's nothing better than finding passion, even at 83. I think that's terrific. All right, well, our next story is a story about love, and I love love. Affectionate mothering in childhood may have a lasting impact on important personality traits, potentially influencing life outcomes such as educational achievement, economic success, health, and well-being. Found in the results of a new twin study, data suggests that positive maternal parenting could foster important traits such as openness, conscientiousness, and agreeableness. Personality traits are strong predictors of important life outcomes, from academic and career success to health and well-being. Our findings suggest that fostering positive parenting environments in early childhood could have a small but significant and lasting impact on the development of these crucial personality traits. A study examined changes in the Big Five personality traits, which are viewed by personality psychologists as the 5 basic dimensions of human personality: extroversion, agreeableness, openness, conscientiousness, neuroticism, and emotional stability. They examined how maternal affection during childhood, specifically between the ages 5 and 10, predicted the big five. The research was published by the American Psychological Association. They examined 2,232 British identical twins, 51% female, who were followed from birth through age 18 as part of the environmental risk longitudinal twin study. Studying identical twins allows researchers to control for genetic and environmental factors by comparing identical twins who grew up in the same family. During the study, researchers conducted home visits with the twins' mothers and recorded them talking about each of their children. Trained observers then rated their mothers' responses for warmth and affection. Twins whose mothers expressed more warmth toward them in childhood were rated as more open, conscientious, and agreeable as young adults. The results offer evidence that positive, affectionate mothering can affect key personality traits that are linked to success in later life. And I believe that that good mothering is just love, love, love. And we know that love is the answer. So go on, moms, keep on loving those babies. They need it. Well, this is a sweet, sweet story. After a son's death, the woman gives part of her liver to his best friend's mom in serendipitous kindness chain. How sweet is this? In celebration of National Donate Life Month in April comes an inspiring story of two old friends who were reunited through grief and kindness and ended up creating the perfect plan. 15 years ago, Angie Lynchard moved across the street from Marianne Carroll in Columbia, Maryland. Their sons, Jared and Philip, soon became best friends. They were practically inseparable, spending all their time together, biking, fishing, and catching frogs. But they moved just 3 years later, and the families lost touch with only sparse social media contact between them. Jared and Philip grew into adults, and Jared joined the Marines. Then a year ago, tragedy struck when 23-year-old Jared died suddenly. Marianne came by after Jared passed away to offer condolences and bring me a prayer shawl. I noticed right away that she looked different from when I saw her last, roughly a span of 11 years, and I asked her if everything was okay. It was then that Marianne recounted a 3-year struggle with illness that resulted in end-stage liver disease for which the only cure was a liver transplant. In October 2023, Marianne was placed on the national waiting list for a suitable organ, which at the time held over 10,200 patient names. After Marianne departed, Angie prayed for a miracle to save her friend's life. Oh, I'm going to get emotional again. She had no clue at that moment that she would be that miracle. Several months after my visit from Marianne, I saw on Facebook that she had posted a search for a living donor to provide a portion of their liver because no one in her family was a suitable donor. Angie says that her strong faith gave her the courage and motivation to honor her late son and getting the testing. See, I told you I was going to cry. Some of these stories are just so heartwarming and so touching. When she told her old friend about her potentially life-saving offer, Marianne was hesitant, not wanting to burden her friend so soon after dealing with a family tragedy. But what really convinced Angie to donate was something her husband Steve told her. Steve recalled that during a missionary trip to Costa Rica, not long after Jared's passing, a minister told him, out of Jared's death, new life will be born. Well, I think that's particularly beautiful. We're going to run out of time tonight. I'll tell you, I've got so many stories here, and I'm just spending too much time on each one. There you go. Here's a 94-year-old woman taking Zumba classes 3 times a week, and it's keeping her healthy, happy, and strong. Isn't that beautiful? Look at that smile on her face. A sporty great-grandmother attends Zumba classes at age 94, and her health has never been better. Mary Marsden says her long, healthy life is down to eating organic food and joining weekly classes of Zumba. Zumba. Yeah, Zumba is really fun. An aerobic dance class that just doesn't quit. All right, moving right along. We're gonna get through these stories because they're really good. Um, this fella, he nearly died from a peanut allergy, and now he eats peanuts for breakfast. And what this groundbreaking study showed is that by giving him a very small amount of peanut protein on a regular basis, began to build up in his system to provide the ability to then start eating peanuts again. He was able to, and he was scared to join the study, but he's really glad that he did. Though he still dislikes the taste of peanuts, Chris now eats 4 every morning with breakfast to maintain his tolerance and reclaim his freedom. It's a wonderful feeling. I'm no longer afraid of dying. How beautiful is that? Oh, so nice. Well, here's a little smarty pants. Yes, this 10-year-old girl, Alyssa Morales from San Bernardino, is set to receive 2 associate degrees, making her the youngest graduate in the school's history. Her impressive academic journey includes degrees in multiple sciences and mathematics, all earned with a near perfect GPA, according to California community colleges. What drives this young scholar? Quite simply, she loves learning. All right, one more story. This one I just had to get to. So this young fella turns in an assignment at school, and his teacher gives him a B on it. And he's like, why didn't I get an A? And he was told it was unrealistic. Yes. What started as a high school project and a less than perfect grade was turned into a fiery success story for 19-year-old Drew Davis. After receiving, it was B minus, excuse me, on his business assignment, Davis, an honor student from small town Missouri, asked his teacher why he didn't get the A, and the teacher said it was unrealistic. Well, Davis used the comment as motivation to prove what was possible. In 2023, he poured $3,000 of his own savings into launching crippling hot sauce from his parents' kitchen. Less than 2 years later, the brand has sold over 500,000 bottles, generated $2 million in 2024 alone, and is projected to hit $5 million in 2025. Davis, who has cerebral palsy, blends bold flavors with bold humor. He says his playful branding and outlook are key to his success. I like to make fun of myself, and I like hot sauce, he said. Well, that's the good news for this week. Oh, my goodness. We could have gone on for a lot longer, I'm sure, tonight, but I'm so delighted to be here with you. I'm going to be back tomorrow morning teaching Science, Mind, and Spirit at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, which is 9 a.m. Mountain Time. So if you're around, you can log in for that. And in the meantime, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Come again next Friday, where we'll have more good news, interesting news, fun news, inspiring news for you. And be sure to donate. NewThoughtMediaNetwork.org receives your donations with deep appreciation, as we are a charitable foundation. Thank you all for watching. Have a beautiful weekend. TGIF. Like, share, and subscribe. This is the Good News signing off.